What's going on, guys? I figured I'd go ahead and make a quick video, and this may be several parts kind of all spliced together when it's all said and done, as the intermediate steps will probably prove to be way too long for you guys to want to sit and watch. But I've decided to do a little bit of maintenance and upkeep on my milling machine. Now this is a used mill. It's made by Clausing. They don't actually make this model anymore that I'm aware of, but it's a power mill made by kind of a sub-brand of Clausing called Candia. It's a Spanish brand, an import mill. And it's probably older than I am. I'm thinking early to mid 70s. And I got this used from a machine dealer. And although it's well used, it's still in somewhat decent shape, all things considered. There was a logbook for maintenance and repairs that have been done to it over the years. And it seemed like they kept somewhat up to date up to a certain point with the repairs and the maintenance. And that said, when I got it, this is my first mill. I didn't have a whole lot of experience, or really any, with mills prior to this point. And when I got it, it had a few issues that either I wasn't initially aware about or just kind of learned to live with. And one of those was the return spring in the Quill arm here. There is supposed to be a clock spring in here that keeps the Quill from freewheeling down like that. And it's not so much really intended to return the Quill all the way back up like a drill press, but really just to balance the weight of this to where I can kind of bring it down and leave it anywhere, bring it up, leave it anywhere without it moving back on me. So I took this apart to see if there was a spring inside it, and there was just a couple of pieces left. It looks like whoever had it or used it before me long ago took most of the spring out. There were just a couple pieces busted up inside there. This is the outside that fits over a pin and pulls tight to hold it on that end. And then of course there's a central spindle in here with another pin that holds the inside of the spring. And that portion, as well as the majority of the spring, was already removed at some point before I got the mill. So I have ordered a replacement assembly. It's actually meant for a Bridgeport and other similar clones. I think it might work on this one, as there are a lot of similarities and some interchangeable pieces on this mill between it and a Bridgeport. But if it doesn't work, I'll just go ahead and modify the existing assembly to fit that spring, and I'll probably make a separate video on that, as I'm still waiting on it to arrive in the mail. Now it may fit all perfectly the first time, and I'll probably still make a little video about that, but it won't be probably nearly as interesting. Now the other thing that's kind of always been an issue is this power downfeed lever for the Quill. Alright guys, hopefully the radio is not too big a distraction in the background, but I went ahead and took a few things apart here. For the most part, it's pretty straightforward. Took the adjustment screw that sets the up and down limits for the Quill out. It's just got a little keeper screw and then a pin that goes in there and goes through the top portion there to hold it in place. Then of course you got the little slide nut here. So I took that out just to clean this out. You can kind of see how that detent on the lever arm assembly, which I also took out, it just slides right out. You got a little keeper collar on there, and then this pin drives up to release from that pinion there. But just to give you another closer look at this, it does have a spring-loaded detent button there that's supposed to lock into place in this little collet here, or bushing. And what was happening, this was so gunked up that this pin, and I actually took this out, cleaned it up with some emery cloth on the lathe. But there's a little pin here that when your Quill feeds down and hits the slide nut, it pushes that whole thread assembly down, and there's a little lever in here. When it pushes down, and hopefully that shows up. It pushes this pin up and pushes that detent out, letting the lever arm spring back that way, as there is a spring in here to keep it outwards. So this was gummed up really bad. Actually everything around here was gummed up, so now we got it freely moving up and down. The spring-loaded button also helps push that down, and it wasn't even enough with all the gum and gunk in there to push it down out of the way, so the detent button wasn't really getting in there, and it was just sliding over the top. So now that all that's cleaned up, we'll adjust everything where it needs to be, put everything back together, and it should work perfectly fine. And to be honest with you, this was actually a really simple fix. I kind of wish I would have started looking into taking this apart when I first got the mill. But I hardly ever really need to use or try to use the power down feed for the Quill, so it really hasn't been a big deal. But now we got all that moving freely. We'll get everything back together, and I'll make a final video showing how everything works and went back together. Alright guys, we're going to do a final little update here to the repair. I got everything back together, as I mentioned in the previous segment. It was really just a matter of everything being gummed up, and again, the detent was not making it into its recess to keep this lever engaged. We now have engagement, and it really isn't a lot. It's just a very small amount of the little spring pin going down into the hole there. And we can disengage. Everything works fine now. And just to prove that it works in the down feed position, go ahead and move that up. We don't have to wait all day on it. Engage our power down feed. And you should see that detent let loose and the lever disengage here momentarily. And there was the down feed. And then we'll go ahead and do the up feed. And there's the up feed. So all in all, it was a pretty quick and simple and painless repair. Just a matter of cleaning some gunk out. I wish I would have done this when I first got the thing. Now I could probably adjust this thing a little bit. It's a little bit hard to engage and disengage. I believe this pin can back out. There's a little spring in there. That'll make that a little easier to go in and out. But that's really it, guys. I don't know if anybody else out there has the same issue. Maybe this will help you. And it just goes to show you that not all repairs or broken things are that hard to fix. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you.